So I was planning on becoming a computer science major or an engineering major in my 8th or ninth grade. But then Cosmos was shown with Carl Sagan, and right after the first episode, which has, actually, if you've seen Cosmos, you will note that it has this spectacular cosmic calendar where he compresses the entire history of the universe into 12 months, and where Big Bang started on January 1st, and the entire human history is in the last second of December 31st. And so after watching that, it was like, I want to be an astronomer.
Our own planet is only a tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold. Those worlds in space are as countless as all the grains of sand on all the beaches of the Earth. Each of those worlds is as real as ours. In every one of them, there's a succession of incidents, events, occurrences, which influence its future. Countless worlds, numberless moments, an immensity of space and time. And our small planet, at this moment, here we face a critical branch point in history. What we do with our world right now will propagate down through the centuries and powerfully affect the destiny of our descendants. It is well within our power to destroy our civilization and perhaps our species as well. If we capitulate to superstition or greed or stupidity, we can plunge our world into a darkness deeper than the time between the collapse of classical civilization and the Italian Renaissance. But we are also capable of using our compassion and our intelligence, our technology and our wealth to make an abundant and meaningful life for every inhabitant of this planet, to enhance enormously our understanding of the universe and to carry us to the stars.
My name is Salman Hamid. I'm Associate Professor of Integrated Science and Humanities at Hampshire College. I did my undergraduate in physics and astronomy at State University of New York at Stony Brook. My graduate work, my PhD, was in astronomy from New Mexico State University in Las Cruces. And after that, I had a fellowship at Smith College, and after that, I was here at Hampshire. In Pakistan, I grew up in Karachi, and that's where I got interested in astronomy. Growing up in Pakistan, because there aren't many professional astronomers, at least at that time, that were visible, I didn't even know that this could be a profession, that you can do astronomy as a profession. But watching Sagan and watching Cosmos, it was like, oh, I can be an astronomer, that is an option. And many years later, I did get a PhD in astronomy. If you look at, and the difference between Cosmos versus documentaries like Nova or others that have come out more recently, it is that people focus on facts. They try to give you more and more information about the universe. But if you notice the way Cosmos unfolded, especially with Carl Sagan, that was more interested in what it means to be a human being. That is something that if you are looking at, whether you are looking at how stars form, if you are looking at are there other planets out there or not, it is this connection that what does it mean to be humans within that type of a universe? Ultimately, those questions are being asked about ourselves. By the way, this is a claim that he repeated on television the day before the Viking landed. I mean, he did say, well, hey, what if? And this, again, was one of those things that Sagan did have an open mind about it. What if we do find one, right? And the flip side, if people are doing that, then you are going to get support from the public. And this happened recently, a few years ago, when it was decided by NASA and by the Congress at that time to actually shut down the Hubble Space Telescope. And there was an uproar, there were editorials written, there was a public campaign that no, Hubble Space Telescope has been crucial in defining our place in the universe, in providing absolutely spectacular images. Science can also explain, we should be able to explain everything in detail, in simple language, and simply because if you understand something properly, then you should be able to explain it as well. I mean, we do communicate, and so even as scientists, we are trying to understand something and then we are trying to explain it to somebody else. It's not equations all the time. Today is a golden age of science communicators. If you look at, you have Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Greene from string theory. Just right now you have a 6-part series on brain. And the other thing is that most of these people have been influenced by Carl Sagan. They are in some sense disciples of Sagan who are communicating their ideas. What is missing, in spite of all of the science popularizers, is some sense of wonder. So I don't think wonder necessarily come from pictures, not necessarily. I think pictures are wonderful, and if you ask people how do they get into astronomy, oftentimes people tell you the first time they saw Saturn through a telescope, and it is a spectacular sight. That just one thing, that you look through the telescope and something that is just a dot in the sky actually has rings in it. That's actually quite powerful thing. And for that, you just need a small telescope. But also, it depends on what fascinates you. I think for imagination, this goes back to this question about literature. You are making images in your head. It's the words that can do a lot as well. You don't need to have pictures in front. As a scientist, I think it is our responsibility to communicate those ideas, what you are finding, to the public. And on the flip side, I think the public will support you if they can connect. And Sagan was a perfect example where he did that wonderfully.